Sairam all. Good evening to everyone over here. It was a wonderful performance by the SSC kids. Let's give them a big round. I think they want me to adjust here and there. I will do it. It is a great honor and privilege to introduce our special guest speaker today, Mr. Sunil Kasturi from the other side of USA. Why I said other side of USA? Because we are region 2. Region 2, we think we are the only USA people over here. He's a devotional coordinator from region 6. Sunil Kasturi has lived in Midwest, Iowa City, and in the Northeast, Portland and Seattle. Now he stays in Portland for more than 17 years. His journey with Swami started nearly 24 years ago when he lived in Chennai, India. He had been active in various center and regional leadership roles in the Northwest. He has also been active in the young adult program in the region. Sunil has conducted unison singing workshops in local retreats, and the power of uniting our voices in singing his praise. He has also worked with SSC children in various roles. In 2010, you can see the picture over here. Directed the play, had children participating from all 10 regions of the United States. I hope Sunil to share Swami's grace and sweet message of love through words and music during his presentation. Namamas and Kirtana as the means of seeing God within yourself. Today is the topic. And Prakash and Rishi Umantana will be helping him in the bhajan session. Let's all please put our hands together and give him a warm welcome.
அப்பனென்னும் பாயே போட்டு அப்பனென்னும் பாயே போட்டு அரங்கனென்னும் தலகாணி வைத்து கிருஷ்ணனை நினைத்தவர்களுக்கு கேசங்கள் வராது. கிருஷ்ணனை நினைத்தவர்களுக்கு கேசங்கள் வராது. ஹா கிருஷ்ணா ஹா கிருஷ்ணா கிருஷ்ணா ஹிருதய கமலவா Krishna Hridaya Kamalavasa மை கூண்டு போல இருள் வந்து மூடி மதிமயங்கி போய் கூண்டே விட்டு புறப்பட்டு போகும்போது தக்காகருடனும் தம்பி தோள் மேலேறி தாமரை மங்கையோடு அப்போது எனக்கு துணை வர வேண்டும் மரங்கத் தருவன பள்ளியானே. அப்போதே இப்போதே சொல்லி வைத்தேன் அரங்கத் भज मनवा गोविंद नारायणा My most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagawan Sathya Sai Baba, our master, our guide, the person who lives with us, breathes with us, guides us day in and day out. Swami, please talk through us today so you may convey what you need to all of us. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, kids, Sai Ram. Such a pleasure to be back in New Jersey again. I've not been here for the last several years. I think I came in 2010, just before that picture that you saw. A few months before that picture was taken in Prashanti Nilayam. And just show of hands, how many kids, I know some of them, how many kids in the room actually were part of this presentation? Yes. Oh my gosh, it's all coming back to me now. It's so good to see you all. And some of you, I think, were involved in singing this this evening. How wonderful was that? My gosh, so good. The harmonies were so tight that I was just, goosebumpy right through. Really, really, really nice. It's always a tough act to follow the children, but I'm going to try. So, Sai Ram, I started today with a prayer in my mother tongue Tamil. And it was taught to me by my grandma. And she just gave it to me and encouraged us to say it daily. And kids, here is something that will resonate with you. I didn't know the meaning, but I did it anyway. Right? You're just like, why are we doing this? I really don't know. Just do it. Because mom says so or dad says so. In my case, grandma said so. So I said it and I said it and I said it. And believe it or not, 2 years ago, when I was 35, I was driving with my mom and dad somewhere. And I actually asked them about, what does this prayer mean? I mean, we've said it all these years. I've pieced parts of it together. What does it mean? And my mom and dad pieced it together with me that day. And it was wonderful because the meaning of the prayer was so intense that I had no idea that I was saying this. I was saying the basic principle of what Swami wanted us to do day in and day out in a prayer when I was going to bed daily with no idea. So another reason, kids, that someday in your last lives, all of this will fall into place. It did for me 2 years ago, 35, right? So wonderful, wonderful meaning, and that is this. Basically, I'll paraphrase. It means when I'm putting my bed down, in our case, comforters, pillows, mattresses. In the case of the prayer, it's a mat. Nobody sleeps on a mat anymore, at least in New Jersey, I'm sure. Not in Oregon. Yes, there is another region, and our region actually will fit into this room. When somebody told me this is 2 centers in this region, I was just like, wow, we will fit into this room. Our regional retreat is about the end of the carpet right here. So, just to give you some context about numbers. So, yeah, when we put our bed down and go to sleep on a daily basis, the person who thinks of Krishna, translate God, divine being, nature, whatever you relate to, that person will not need to worry about anything. Krishna who lives in my heart, this is my beautiful, very favorite part, and it gets a little morbid, but we'll steer it right back around. It says that when the time comes to leave this earthly body, and we all know 2 things are a definite given in life, death and taxes. Very good, yes. So, when the time comes to leave this earthly coil, and he calls it Poi Kunda, which means this false, Swami says water bubble, this prayer says, this false cage, I want you to come on Garuda's shoulder, this is to Krishna, to Vishnu, on Garuda's shoulder with Lakshmi, and give me comfort and company. Now, I don't know if I can say it that day, so I'll say it now. Appode kippode solivete. I'll say it now. Please give me comfort and company. And the reason I bring this prayer up is today is the day. Today is the opportunity. Let us do this now. Whatever we're doing, let us do this now. In the context of Swami's birthday, the celebration is wonderful. Our hearts are always filled. We always feel His divine presence. I don't think that feeling has changed even a smidgen. Nice word, right? Yeah, thank you. Since Swami left the earthly plane, we haven't felt that difference at all. We feel Him with us all the time. But the opportunity for His birthday is to recognize that divinity within ourselves. Swami says, let my birthday be the birth of divinity within you, right? So let us use that opportunity today. Let us take that resolution today to find out what that means. And it's so beautiful. I was sitting there and I looked to the left and I saw that lovely spiritual progress is right living, good conduct, and moral behavior. So, I was looking around and I was like, wow, that is exactly what it is. And let's start that today is my encouragement to myself. And the reason I do this is, how many of you have been to a gym ever? Ever? Yes, good. How many of you have been to a gym on January 2nd? You know where I'm going with this? On January 2nd, you won't get parking at the gym parking lot. Because on January 1st, everyone took this resolution that I am going to be fit this year. I am starting today. You can go to the same gym on February 1st. All the parking in the world. You know, you can take a few people with you, you'll find parking for them too. Because that's how long that resolution has lasted. So let this not be a gym resolution. Let this be the resolution for exercising our spirit and our mind, and let's stick to this. How do we do that through Namamas and Kirtan is what I was asked to talk through. And the sheet is very interesting. When I was in Portland, I wrote some ideas on this side. And then I took a nap today. But the service project was so wonderful this morning. I took a nap today, and then I woke up, and then Swami had reorganized my entire head. And so there are shorter notes on this side now that even I can't figure out. So we'll go with this. So I think the first step towards that progress, towards our realizing our inner divinity through speaking the divine name, has happened right here. Right? We are here today. Half the battle is showing up. Possession is 9/10 the law. We are here, right? We have made a choice on this lovely weekend when the preteens will be able to help me on this. And there's a lovely second movie in a 3-part series that released this weekend, right? But we made the choice, let's not see that. Let's go after a different kind of hunger, right? And we showed up, and we're here. And we're here. So this is our first step. We are in the room. And we are here to think about how we advance ourselves. So half the battle is won. So first of all, let me applaud us for all of that. Second, we have recognized through the various names of God. There was Allah, there was Lord We Were One, which actually has a tune based on Hallelujah, so it's actually based on a Christian song. We had Swami, we had Krishna, we had Rama. We have set the name. We have sankirtaned it out the last several minutes. So right there, we have our paths to understanding where we want to go and setting off on that journey. So I think all that remains to be done is, kind of doing what I did with my dad and mom on this car drive. We're doing these things. Let's just share some time and some thought to understand why are we doing this and what is the point of it and what are we thinking about. And maybe the journey becomes more interesting for all of us. Right? So, Nama Sankirtan, what does that even mean? So in typical, I'd like to think I'm half right brain and half left brain. But you know that you have a serious problem when you plan every day of your vacation and you build in 3 hours for spontaneous time. I will be spontaneous between 1 and 4 p.m. on this particular day because I don't want to book in a trip or a tour or a sightseeing on my vacation time. There's a problem there. Definitely, analysis is something that appeals to me more than spontaneity, apparently. So, if you break it down, let's start with that first word, right? Why do we even do Kirtana? And Swami has talked about it beautifully as only Swami can. Swami says, the world is a place that makes us bend to its will by using the power of illusion or Maya. So we all think, I'm Sunil, I'm standing here, I'm having a nice conversation with you, I'm saying words like smidgen, making the kids laugh there, right? All of this is an illusion. That is Maya. And Swami actually says in a discourse that Maya makes you dance. So remember children? Some of you who will need to dance against your will in the play. And adults, as we go to work and dance to the wills of the people around us sometimes. You know how that happens? I really don't want to do this, but I have to because my boss says so, or his boss says so. Right? We all do it. So Swami calls it the Maya, the illusion is a nartaki. Makes you dance. It's a dance master, a nartaki. And he does it if you think about it in Sanskrit, it is na, taki, right? The words are na, then ta with the ki. And Swami says the way to overcome this maya or illusion is to rearrange that nartaki into kirtana. That's what Swami says. That is the way we overcome this maya, this illusion. That is the way we start getting that connection and we keep that connection. That's how important it is. So that is the first thing that I thought was really, really interesting. And Swami with his wordplays is always very, very interesting. Speaking of which, in that picture, Nartaki reminds me, I do not have a single day of professional dance training in my life. Right? Never have done it. Do I know to move to the music? Yes. Do you want to see me in a public forum doing that? Probably not. Right? At the odd wedding, when the reception is going on and the music's playing, maybe, not in a public forum, and definitely not before the Lord of the Universe. No. But that is Swami. Swami, if Maya is an Nartaki, Swami is an even bigger director than that. Not only did he have me dancing, he had me teaching and communicating this dance to people. Honestly, sometimes you surrender because you know it's the best course of action. And sometimes you surrender because you have no choice. I had no idea how to do this. Absolutely no idea. And so I talked to a lady by the name Sylvia Alden. And Sylvia Auntie has been conducting the Christmas choir for years and years. And Sylvia Auntie said, you know what, Sunil? I have conducted 1,000 people in front of Swami for 10 years now. And I don't know how to read music. And I don't know how to work with orchestras. Swami gave the duty to me, and he gets it done every year. Remember to surrender. And she gave me a very important quote. She said, I tell my chorus that it doesn't necessarily need to be an artful chorus. It needs to be a heartful chorus. So Auntie, we have a wealth of information and a wealth of guidance and a wealth of inspiration around us, especially in our elders. Right? So that was how, right after this, 45 children danced and 120 children sang with a director, and I do it with double quotes because I can't begin to think of myself in that role, was directed by Swami, was guided, and completely, Swami took over the event and Swami guided this event to completion. It started off in a really small way and it ended really big. And then the next thing I wanted to say was that after this, when I was talking to Swami about the things on that card, Swami picked up the one most important thing. On the first page, he said, it said, from your children in the United States of America. Swami looked at it and he said, my children. And he spent that minute, and at that moment, I knew that this was special beyond belief. And so that was really, really, really touching. And I really love, and I feel so privileged that Swami graced all of us at that time with sitting through our offering and talking to the children later and all of that, because we did not know that Swami had plans for his earthly body within a year of that date, right? So we digress, but I tend to do that all the time. So that being said, we are in an age where Nama Sankirtana is the way to deal with Maya. And how does one deal with this Maya? Swami said that, in various ages, in the Krita Yuga, there was one mode of doing things that helped you get across. Does anyone know what that is? It was dhyana. And the Treta Yuga, it was, what? It was dhyana, and then it was japa, then archana in the Dwapara Yuga, and now in the Kali Yuga, Swami says it's namasmarana. He also says very beautifully that, just like when birds are flying in the ocean, Right? When birds are flying in the ocean and need a point to rest, they're not going to be able to do it in the water. They have to do it on a ship. They have to seek out a ship in the middle of the ocean to take that rest. He said the mast of that ship is like Namasmarana. Just let yourself be engulfed. Take it as support. Rest yourselves over there. And that'll get you to where you need to go. So, having said that, the next question that came to me was, okay, that is Kirtana. But there's not much Kirtana that happened today. I mean, there were very few solos, so to speak, right? That was one of the things we talked about even during when all the children were singing and all of the talented instrumentalists were coming together. We said, this is going to be a choir. Everyone sings and everyone plays. And we'll figure out how to blend everyone's voices. This is a concerted offering to Swami. It's a united offering to Swami. So, when you say that, the next word is Sankirtana. So from Kirtana, you move to Sankirtana. So how do we do that? I think how we do that is this. First of all, we recognize that coming together to sing everyone's names, sing Swami's name with everyone in the room, is an opportunity for everyone to participate in the singing. The SSC kids in in the Beaverton Sai Center were taught very, very early that we never jostle for which of the kids leads a bhajan. Every child leads a bhajan. Some happen to lead it in the mic. Right? If you think about it, if you repeat, if I sing a bhajan in the mic and you repeat, you are leading that bhajan. When your turn comes to lead it, you're leading it. When you lead, I'm not singing. Right? So you're leading your turn, I'm leading my turn. So the children will say, again, they'll come and they'll say, why do you come to Sai Center for bhajans? To repeat. That was their answer. And they learned it and they learned it and they learned it. And then there was a time where we actually had to say, somebody pick up the mic and sing into it, please. Because not everyone can be repeating. So that, I think, is one of the things that I feel Swami tells us through Sankirtana. The way to lose our ego. The way to become one among many and still have our unique experience with Swami. The way to make it so fundamental that it doesn't matter what is going on in the room, you can transcend beyond that room, that boundary, and feel Swami within you. Feel that connection. That morning, I don't know, I actually couldn't go to the morning darshan because I was getting last minute things ready for the play. But that morning, Swami sat in bhajans for almost 2 hours. And I was getting ready for the play and they were playing the bhajans in the loudspeaker at Prashanti. And I'm doing something and a bhajan starts. I can feel the energy, it's super high. I'm doing something else and another bhajan starts. The energy is super high. And sitting in Prashanti and I'm hearing it in the speaker, I'm just like, oh my God, the energy is so high in the mandir, the energy is so high in the mandir, and I can't really be there. And that day, actually, even before we went to present the play, there was an electric energy in the air. And everybody who walked back from darshan that morning told me about how the 2 hours of bhajans were very, very, very charged. And that is actually something that in Swami's presence we feel a lot. In his physical presence we felt a lot. When we sat for bhajans, we would always feel that electric charge. And of course that also led me to a little bit of concern. I'm like, Swami, it's 12:30 or 11:30 or whatever, and you're still sitting here and people are singing bhajans. How are you going to come back in the afternoon? The children are getting ready, they're putting their makeup on. They had all of these Native American streaks and they had things attached to their hair. And I was just, a little part of me was like, Swami, don't you need to go rest so that you can come back? And I was just like, I hope Swami, remembers he told us to come this afternoon. And he did remember. He was back on the dot and he came in and he asked, actually, it was very funny. He came up to the kids and asked them, so why are you all here all dressed up? Earlier that morning, he had asked us to come. And he came out and he said, why are you all dressed up? And one of the kids, of course, got an opportunity to stand up and say, oh, Swami, you're here for the play. So I said, oh, okay. So, gave him that one-on-one time. And now I don't even remember who that child is, but that child is going, oh, I spoke with Swami. And I am the kid who told Swami we have a play. If I hadn't told Swami that day, God knows what 165 children would have done. Oh my God, I saved the day and I got to talk to the Lord of the Universe. Hello, work here is done. So, I'm sure that kid's thinking that, right? So, it's all a divine play. So that awesome power that we have to be able to connect, whether individually or whether in a group, comes with something. That awesome power comes with great power comes. Oh my gosh! I know. Love this crowd. There's Hunger Games. There's all kinds of references are being picked up by the room. Very good, thank you. Yes, with great power comes great responsibility. So really, our responsibility then becomes when we take that name, we always take it. We always take it with the privilege that has been accorded to us to say it and feel that divinity in that smarana of that nama, right? So, I actually had an experience in my life that led me to believe how fundamentally Swami affects us and impacts us. So from a very young age, my parents have always encouraged us to say Sairam, Sairam, Sairam all the time. Anything happens, good, bad, Sairam, 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 Sairam. This morning when I took 95 south instead of north, Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. But the iPhone was so good about it, it didn't even tell me I made a mistake. It just said, take this exit, take a left, take a right. And I'm like, I'm going the opposite direction which I came, I must have missed something. But it does it so calmly. And I was thinking, thank you, Swami, that was a really smart way of telling me, you're lost. Danger, Will Robinson, you're lost. So, with that great power comes great responsibility. And so, what happened really in this case was me and the entire family, my sister, husband and the kids were visiting, my parents were in the minivan, I had rented a minivan, and we were driving from Portland to the ocean. How many people have been to Portland? Ever? Awesome. Isn't it fantastic? It's a lovely, lovely part of the world. And it is gorgeous in the summer, it is dark in the winter, and the problem with the winter is ice sometimes settles on the mountain ranges without you not knowing that there is ice there. It's black ice. And it becomes even more problematic because you're driving in the mountains with lots of curves. And I'm driving a minivan with 7 people, and here we go, we're going. And I did not know that the temperature was actually comfortable. It was in the 40s, it was not like 28, it was in the 40s. I had no idea there was ice on the ground. I drive the van, slip on the ice, cross over to the other side on a mountain, cross over to the other side, touch the edge of the mountain, and manage to turn the car upside down. So, note to folks in the audience, the car is not much fun when you're looking at it upside down. Not at all fun. I'm just like, okay, if I unbelt myself here, am I going to fall? Or am I still going to be hanging on to something? There's just all of these. Needless to say, there was a fair amount of consternation in the car. I turn over. And prior to this, I should tell you something. There is one song that our family will never sing, ever. The 3 times we have sung it, we have landed in an accident. I don't know what it is. I'm not even going to say the words here today. I'm not going to tempt the fates. So my mom and dad were in a bad situation once. They were driving and they got caught in a flash flood. And they saw their car actually sinking in the water and the water level rise. This was right after that song. And then this day, as we were driving, 20 seconds before this car overturned itself, I was leading this song. And my mom tells me from the back road, she's telling me, what are you doing? And it didn't even, nothing actually struck me until the car was upside down. Swami's grace, we all survived. Swami's grace, we all left the car pretty unscathed, we walked out. But the power of the name, and how fundamental it is to you, and how you don't even know how much that power of saying that name properly has with the things that happen in your life was revealed much later. My brother-in-law was the one who was sitting right next to me. So he told me, "Do you remember what you said as the car overturned?" And I said, "I have no idea, absolutely no idea." And he said, "You said in a very matter-of-fact, non-panicked, calm voice, 'Sai Ram.'" So he tells me, he said, that calmness, I knew the word and the tone, I knew we were okay. As we were going into this accident, upside down on this mountain, I knew we were going to be okay. And that just, the thing that brought most light to me is how much we really value with the name, how much we really are blessed to use the name, and how much power it really has, the power of that Nama, and how much it is integrated into our lives and said in a very matter-of-fact, calm way in the most daunting of situations, because that is how Swami has programmed us through his will and his grace. Right? So it's actually, I think, it's really amazing how much we can benefit from this name. And I think we can sing a song now. Everyone's getting it's been a while, right? तुम बिन कोई नहीं आपत सहारे, तुम बिन प्रेम कोई नहीं देने वाले, तुम हो मेरे आत्मा राम बाबा, भगवान तुम्हारा नाम सारे भगवान तुम्हारा तुम बिन कोई नहीं रखवाले, तुम बिन कोई नहीं आपत सहारे, तुम बिन कोई नहीं So, we talked about Sankirtana. We talked about the power of the name. Swami actually says that the power of the name is so much more important than the form itself sometimes. And he says it in a wonderful way in one of his discourses. Swami says, when you see a mango, you're like, is this going to be sweet enough? Is it going to be pulpy? Too much juice? Am I going to be eaten in one bite? I'm not quite sure how this mango is going to be, right? And you see it. But when you say the name mango, the juiciest, most delicious, large, for me, Banganapalli comes to mind. Right? The power of the name is so strong that it just elicits this response in you that is really a really positive, lovely connection with it. Swami says the same with roses. When you say the rose, you think of this wonderfully structured, layered flower with just so much delicate intricacy, color, fragrance. When you're asked to pick a rose up in its form, you're like, okay, I hope that thorn doesn't get to me, right? So Swami says it in these very words about why the name, the Nama, is just so powerful and necessary. Because what it brings, that response that it brings in your mind and your spirit, is something that is very positive. That is the power of the name. We sing various different bhajans. We sing Bhava Sankirtanas, where we talk about how we feel, or how the Lord feels, or how Hanuman felt in the presence of the Lord. All of that, right? And then we sing Guna Sankirtana, where we talk about the attributes. Talk about the attributes of God. What are His gunas? And then we do Leela Sankirtanas, where we say, Kalinga Madhana Shri Krishna. Right? So there you go. Govardhana Giridhari. Leela Sankirtana. But Swami says the most powerful Sankirtana is Nama Sankirtana, where it is name and name alone that will be the thing you repeat time and again, that integrates into your life and makes the birth of divinity in you. Swami says that the name and the form have to be so connected in you, they have to be so connected in your heart and your mind when you sing the name, that you should think of it like two branches, two twigs that are constantly touching each other. Name, form, name, form. And he says when two branches rub against each other enough times, you get a spark of light that burns your ajnana away, that burns your ignorance away. So that is how Swami relates the name and the form. And the way Swami talks about the name again is just so powerful. In a series of discourses, he talks about every name. How many of you have read the Ramakatha Rasavahini? I would recommend it a lot for a read. If not anything, but for God telling His tale in first person. Right? So the way Swami talks about Ramayana and Ramakatha Rasavahini is, he'll tell you intricate details. It's like when you see all of these DVDs, especially for like Harry Potter or a lot of the rings, right? There's the whole making of. And you have all of these secrets. Oh, in this scene, when that was shot, this person was not even there. He was acting in front of a green screen. And we spliced him in later, right? Things that only the director would know. Reading Ramakatha Rasavahini is like that. Swami tells you details in that are just so unique, so first person, that only he would know them. Being there as Rama and having walked the planet as Rama Avatar. But Swami says in a discourse about the power of the name Rama. Right? Swami says Rama is actually three sounds. Ra, A, and Ma. First of all, Swami says Rama is just one who delights. Rama means one who delights. So all we have to do is be delightful. And we've seen divinity grow in our hearts. Manifested divinity in our hearts. Let's just be delightful all the time. Right? That's what Rama is. But going deeper, Swami says Rama is actually Ra, A, and Ma. Ra stands for Agni. It is the mystic symbol for Agni. And Agni burns. burns your sins away. A is the mystic symbol for Surya, or the sun, and that illumines your ignorance away. And Ma is the mystic symbol for Chandra, or the moon, and that cools your tapam, your suffering. So basically Swami says, if you say Rama, Rama, and you know why you're saying Rama, 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 you're saying it because you're saying, what you're saying with Rama is this, what is a Maha Mantra actually. Please do not let the sufferings of the world get to me. Please let them cool down. Please burn my sins away. And please let the sun melt away my ignorance so that I am illumined. I mean, talk about efficiency. All of that is packed in one word, Rama. Right? With Swami's definition of Rama, all of what I said. Please let the moon cool my suffering away. Please let the sun illuminate me and make my life more meaningful and enlightened. Please let the fire burn my shortcomings away, my sins away, is all said by the use of the word Rama. That's how powerful Rama is. And similarly, Swami talks about Gopala, and Swami talks about Madhava, and Swami talks about a number of these that we can go into. I'm just going to do a time check, which is 34K. Number of these that Swami goes into. So, for example, Gopala, Swami says, Gopala doesn't mean cowherd. What does Gopala mean? Anyone guess what Go can mean in Gopala? Gopala? Pala is one who's tending to. Swami says Go actually means, the cows actually mean the senses. And Gopala is one who tends to our senses so that they are focused on the divine. Another example where a nama is internalized into something that is really divine in our lives. Control our senses. Let us be the person who is able to burn our sins away, illuminate ourselves, and cool our sufferings, right? So it is really beautiful how the power of the name goes beyond just that. The power of the name and what it evokes in our mind is one thing, as we have experience with Sai Krishna and Sai Rama and all of that. And then the power of the name for the mystical significance of what it is, that real power is something else. I think this is why Swami sings, right? Rama nama me melu, Rama chintane chalu. Swami says Rama's name is enough. Thought of Rama is enough. Rama nama me melu, Rama chintane chalu. Rama nama me melu, Rama chintane chalu. Ni nama me melu, ni chintane chalu. Rama nama me melu, Rama chintane chalu. Rama nama me melu, Rama chintane chalu. Nama me melu, ni chintane chalu. Nama me melu, chintane chalu. Nama me melu, ni chintane chalu. Nama me melu, chintane chalu. Rama nenu ni vaadu, Rama nato maatadu, Rama kodanda Rama, Rama Pattavi Rama, Rama Kalyana Rama, Raghava Rama kodanda Rama. Right? That is why Swami says Rama so many times in so many ways, and he says Rama's name is enough and his thought is enough. Not just because it's Rama and you think about his exile and you think about the way he defeated the demon And there's a spiritual significance for all of that. But just because the power of that name means so many things besides just being Rama, those two aksharas, right? Similarly, Swami says Vishnu. So if we have to celebrate divinity in ourselves by taking up these names have to signify more than just the pictures that we have been raised to believe, the raised to associate with these names. Similarly, Vishnu. One of the very famous poses of Vishnu is on a five-headed serpent. Right? Adisesha. And so the belief is Adisesha is Vishnu's, in Vaikuntha, that is his resting place. And you have a five-headed snake looking down upon the Lord of the universe. When you think about it, you're like, wow, okay, I believe it. I've been raised to believe it, but what does it really mean? Why five heads? What's going on here? Right? Swami explains that in another discourse. Swami says the five heads of Adisesha are the five senses. When the five senses are focused towards God, God rests there. He doesn't move, he rests there. Swami says eyes. The sense of sight is one of the heads. Let that always be directed towards God and inwards. That is one of the heads. The nose. Let the fragrance remind you of that of the Lord of the universe. Swami says the sense of hearing. Let us hear God's words in everything around us and hear the vibrations of His grace in everything that we do. The fourth thing is the tongue. And Swami says the tongue is really, really important because let it say the right things and eat the right things. Swami says the tongue guides you in two ways. Both ways are dangerous for spiritual progress. Swami has actually said that the things that you put out and the things that you put in, food, words, both of those with the tongue. And the last one is the touch. And Swami beautifully says, let the touch always reach out to people who need it. Let your touch engulf the needy. Serve them, touch their hearts. When these five heads are pointed towards God, the Lord of the universe, or Vishnu, Vishnu actually stands for omnipresence. The omnipresent God is there, right there. That is what it means. So next time we sing anything about Sesha Shailavasa or Sathya Sai or one of those, this is exactly where our heart goes and our mind goes. It's so beautiful. Swami's given us this guidance. So I noticed it wasn't on the database, but there was one song that goes with Sathya Sai Narayana Vasudeva Narayana Bandhanasha Narayana Partivasa Narayana Sai Ram 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 Sai Ram Ram Sathya Sai Narayana Vasudeva Narayana. So it's so wonderful when the things that we say by rote, Rama, Gopala, Sathya Sai, all of these have so deep meanings because Swami just guides us time and time again with the inner meanings of these words. Swami says a very clear path to feeling divinity within yourselves is the following. And this will be kind of the last thought before I wind up today. Swami says the path to feeling divinity within yourself is first Vishwas, faith. Have faith in a form, any form. Hold on to it tight and have unshakable faith in it. Right? The story goes that even the hairs of Hanuman chanted Ram, Ram, Ram. And when Hanuman was reorged into Ayodhya, right, he had Rama all to himself for a long time, and then he had to come back to Ayodhya, and Rama was the king now. So there was a reorg that happened, The right ministers were jostling for the right roles. Hanuman said, I need only one responsibility. Let me take care of Rama when he yawns. And everybody said, oh, that seems like, a fairly junior position, associate level position. It's yours, Hanuman. Take it. Then Hanuman said, well, I have to be with him all the time because I don't know when he's going to yawn. And I would be lacking in my duties if I weren't around to catch him when he yawned. So I am going to be looking at the Lord 24/7. Right? When he yawns. It reminds me of that boy right there. That was one thing, when we were conducting the children, I had an agreement with them. When they sang, this was a very hard ask from me to them. When they sang and they played, they needed to look at me and not at Swami. I'm not even going to start with how unfair that is. I mean, look at this and look at Swami. Would you pick Swami or would you pick me? Right? Of course, Swami. Those of you who are even wondering. So I told them, but I promise in return that when I conduct, I will not look at Swami and I will look only at you. And so this was a promise that actually I was, with Swami's grace, able to keep because I was so into what these kids were doing. And I told them, you can take sneak peeks at Swami and you can keep looking at him during the entire play. Just when you have to sing, please look at me, because we are doing things here that we need to communicate about. They were so good about it. But that, I had to pull my eyes away from Swami to do this work. This boy's work is looking at Swami, right? Much like Hanuman. So he's doing his work right now, because in case Swami has a need, he has to be right there. So what do? I look at Swami, and if Swami needs something, I have it. So like that, Hanuman said, yawning, I have to be around Rama and be looking at him at all times. I need 24/7 access to him. So he's like one of the senior advisors to the president right now, 24/7 access. So that is how much we need to have faith. And from that faith comes love. Love for the form, love for how the prema with which we worship that form. And we take that prema that comes from the form to disseminate with people around us. Because that love is not a selfish love. It's an encompassing love. The fact that in Sathya Sai, when Swami describes Sathya Sai, he says the feeling of touch should be directed towards others so that you can actually solve their problems, goes to tell you that that love that he's giving us is a very, very communal love. Share it. So that prema is true, Swami says. Vishwas, prema. Then he says, then you can do your namasmarana. Then you can you can be like the hairs of Hanuman that always say Ram, 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 Ram. Because with that faith in the form, any form, and the love that develops for that form, the words, the namasmarana actually becomes something that you can benefit from. And he says, along with that namasmarana will come the yearning to be the nama. So the fourth step, Swami says, is yearning. Where you are saying Rama, 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 but you're actually thinking, I need to be like Rama. I have to manifest as Rama. How do I take this name and internalize it so that I can just, like Sathya Sai, I can use my senses in good things. Right? Like the word Rama, how can I quell my ignorance and be this beacon of light and all of that? And Swami says, when you have that yearning, you will become the form. The story, the last story that I'm going to use, again comes from Ramakatha Rasavahini. Swami says, Rama comes back to Ayodhya. Rama comes back to Ayodhya and gets off the Vimana and is walking and embracing his brothers, two of whom haven't seen him for the longest time. And they start walking towards the forest, towards the city of Ayodhya. Again, total first person rendition here. The way, when you read it, you know he is the one who was walking, right? It's so wonderful. Swami says, as people looked from the sides, all of Ayodhya had assembled to see Rama return with Sita, Lakshmana and Hanuman. As they are walking into Ayodhya, Swami says the people of Ayodhya couldn't tell Bharata and Rama apart. The people were asking, who is Bharata and who is Rama? Why do both of them look like Rama? And Swami says, and that is our divine principle. If we think about Rama and we understand who Rama is, and we say Rama enough times, and we feel Rama in every act that we did over 14 years in the case of Bharata in our lifetimes, then we will be indistinguishable from Rama. We will be Rama. And that is the birth of divinity in us. Swami is such a great and compassionate divine being that he has allowed us all of these wonderful messages, palatable in small bites, in stages we can understand, much like dancing, right? If this were in terms that I couldn't get my arms around and his grace wasn't there, we would lose it. But Swami in his compassion has given it to us in the dosage we need, so that we may celebrate year after year his divinity. We may celebrate year after year the birth of his divinity in us. And really, there is no one closer to us than our Lord. And the more we think like him, act like him, talk like him, be like him, we will become him. That will be the birth of our divinity. Sai Ram.
Bhagawan bina koi apna nahi Sai bhajan bina sukh shanti nahi Hari Ram bina शांति नहीं, सुख शांति नहीं.
Sai Ram, everyone. Thank you, Swami, for the opportunity to be able to talk today. And I wish you all a very, very, very happy Swami's birthday and a Swami-filled year ahead. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everybody.
Sai Ram.
Wasn't that a remarkable talk, you know? I was totally floored because some of the very salient points, he touched them in the nicest and the simplest way. You know, and through the Namasmarana, how he explained all that. So, you know, big round of applause for our... And this is a symbolic gesture of our appreciation and love for our brother Sunil. We're going to present a bouquet and a gift for him. And I'll ask our brother Chandra, president of Edison Center, he will present the gift. Be funny. Thank you so much. And really, you know, this is again, we hope you will come and visit again and again. You know, we really need to get tuned up. You know, so we need you here.
As I see these kids grow, I'm just like every 2 years I should come back to see how much they're doing. Half the people are not as ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sai Ram, our parking lot is very full. Toyota Blue NU757F has to be removed because it's in the park in the grass. And Smile 4U Lexus White. Please remove these two cars. There's a parking lot across the street. Please go and park over there. Otherwise, you're going to get a ticket.
Yeah, a couple of things. You know, actually, there are lots of cars. I think there may be more cars than people here, you know. But see, some of these cars are not properly parked. They're illegally parked, and the park ranger is not too happy with it. So please, you know, those who can, if you have cars parked on the grass, remove them. There's a parking lot across the road. You know, please park them.